Hello, I am Karen Bessie, the Director in Continuing Medical, Provider, and Nursing Education for Norton Healthcare. The purpose of this video is to review the guidelines for RSSs if an activity does have exhibitor or commercial support. As part of the standards for integrity and independence for continuing education, they do address specifically what is required if there's commercial support, as well as what's required if there are exhibitors. One of the key things is for any activity or education program, a representative from an eligible company, which is the pharmaceuticals or manufacturing or other companies that sell products or services for use on patients, can never make a topic selection, recommendation, cannot make any recommendations regarding speakers, even if they are a supporter or an exhibitor. For commercial support, if you do have commercial support for your activity, please notify your CME coordinator that you work with. So prior to the activity, it is required that there's a letter of agreement and it needs to be signed prior to the event. And this does need to be signed by a member of our office as well as a representative from the supporting company. In respect to payment, it needs to either go to Norton Healthcare or the joint provider. And supporter can never directly pay for any expenses related to an activity. So they cannot bring a speaker in and pay for them. They can't pay for the meal. Those funds need to go to either Norton or the joint provider. And another requirement is that learners have to be informed that there is commercial support for the activity. In respect to notification, this has to be done prior to the event, and you would indicate the name of the company. And also you cannot use any of their logos in the notification or name of the company. If they are providing an in-kind support, so for example, equipment for a lab or anything of that nature, then that would also need to be disclosed to the learners. Here is an example of what a notification to learners looks like. And we do have templates for them. And if you do have a commercial supporter, please check with us and we can confirm that your notification to learners does meet the accreditation guidelines. If you're having an activity where there are exhibitors, there are a few requirements in respect to that. It needs to be in a separate location from where the education is. So if you are having an education program in a classroom or a conference room and you have an exhibitor or exhibitors, they need to be located outside of the room. So it needs to be a physical separate location. So essentially the guideline is if I'm sitting in the education room, I should not be able to look around and see an exhibitor. If for some reason you're having an exhibitor located in the room where you're providing the education, ACCME guidelines are very clear that you need to have a 30-minute gap in the education from when the exhibitor would be located there. So there would need to be a gap in that time of education and exhibiting if it is located within the same classroom or conference room. If your RSS for some is longer and you're going to have breaks and registration and all of that, that is when the exhibit time would be created. You are not to create exhibit time during the time that coincides with the education program. In respect to budget, if you are receiving exhibitor funds or commercial support funds, that needs to be reported to us on an annual basis, as well as the expenses related to the actual activity. We do need to report budget, commercial support and all at the end of the year. for each of our activities that we do accredit. I want to thank you for joining us. And if you have any additional questions regarding commercial support or exhibiting, please contact our office or your CME coordinator. Thank you and have a good day.